Hey there, everybody. Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations. Continuing with my companion system. So, we are going to go ahead and start adding in the functionality and everything that is required in order for us to have our companion system working. And foundationally, for our party, we first need one step being taken care of first, and that's adding companions. Um, so if you think about games like Dragon Age and like Baldur's Gate 3 and 2 and 1, obviously, and Mass Effect and every other myriad of games that has companions, there's quite a few of them that have more companions than there are slots. Um, and that means that you need to be able to keep track of who your companions actually are. Um, the traditional method and the way that I confirmed that everything worked was, just create companions, and we come over here and make it an NPC definition. I'm going to be utilizing mine, turn it into an array, and here we go. This is traditionally what you do. However, huge however, um, you don't want to have all of your companions loaded at all times. If you only have 3 companions with you, but you have 8 companions, that means you have um, space being used by 5 companions that aren't being utilized. So we need to change this to soft targeting, and that's what we're going to do. Soft object reference. Change it to that. It's important, so we're going to make sure we do that. So first thing we need to do, because it's actually very easy to change all of this to hard references when we need them, and to soft references when we don't, we will go ahead and create our first function. We're going to call this one add NPC to companions. And in the input, we will find our NPC definition. Now this one, we're going to go ahead and keep it as a hard reference because at this point in time, it doesn't matter that it's a hard reference because that is simply how most systems are going to communicate, like Tails, so the quest and dialogue. So we just want the hard reference to our NPC, at which point we will then come here to companions, pull out, and first let's search for contains item. Ah, that's why. Yep. NPC definition. I need to make sure that it's my definition. There we go. And see, it automatically converted it to a soft reference for us. Now, obviously, this isn't strictly necessary, um, but I would rather be safe than sorry. And the reason that this isn't strictly necessary is because once we've made that distinction here, we come in here and instead of add, we're going to do add unique. So if I'm being frank, this really isn't needed, and I may remove it down the road, but I'm not going to do that actively here because I haven't done the testing on it. And if false, add unique. So if it's not part of the system, add it. Otherwise, that's it. And now the NPC will be added to our companions. The next thing we will do is remove. So add, now remove NPC from companions. And again, we will need an input for our NPC definition. And yet again, contains. This one is necessary. And it's necessary because we don't want to remove something that's not there. It will pull up a null pointer, which could crash the system because it's looking for something that isn't actually there. At which point we then, if it is there, we want to remove index. So completely removes it. We will pull our companions here again and do find item. And it will be our NPC definition. And it'll go ahead and remove it. And return node. Copy, paste. I'm a stickler for return nodes, and I found some that I missed. Because obviously not right here. Return. It's not strictly necessary if you're not putting anything in the output. It's just a cleanliness thing for me. Now the last function we're going to do is a classic getter. Because seeing the companion variable is not going to be possible. But if at any point you need access to that data, we're going to go ahead and get it. So we'll go ahead and do this. And then we will go ahead and change this to an array and to a soft object reference. Call it companions. And there we go. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and, since we have companions selected, we're going to make it private. That's because I want everything that happens with the companions to stay within the companions. I may change it up a little bit once I have the society system going, because it'll be one master component controlling those 3 minor components. But for now, I'd like for it to be private. And with that information like that, the last thing we want to do here in this function is we want this to be, we want it to be pure. I'm not sure if I set it as pure. I did. Good. And it's set as public. And then let's see. I'm not sure why I have that. Oh, that's right. Because, one second, I need to confirm something here. I may have made a mistake. I did not make a mistake. I needed to just confirm it. If we come here to remove NPC from companions, I have this access specifier set as private because actually it shouldn't be private now that I think about it, which is fine. I will keep it public. That way, if they're not in the party but we need to remove them as a companion, we can do that. So we now have everything here, and I'm going to go ahead and give categories to clean things up. And this will be companions. We'll put all of these in here. Perfect. And then this will also be companions. So that everything companion-wise is set up there. Compile and save. So we have everything that we need access to right there. The last thing that we will do, well, there's 2 last things we're going to do, but it all coincides with this one thing, is set up what we need for a future video when we add things to our party. So we need to create a custom event. This can't be in a function. And that's because we want to asynchronously load the data that we need when we're adding an NPC to our party. You can force, so if I come here, let's do it this way. Let's go ahead, I'll show you in a second. So let's create that custom event. And I'm going to name it add NPC companion to empty party slot. And what we need to do here is add an input. It's going to be single. It's going to be a hard reference, and we'll call it NPC definition. And we now need to get NPC definition. Actually not sure why I need to do that here. Yeah, I actually don't need to do that here, but we need this information, so we'll go ahead and touch on this now. If you do not have an interface connected to your version of the player definition and NPC definition, you really need to do that. I've done it in a previous video, but I'll go ahead and show you real quick. Come over here. Systems, interfaces, society system interface. I have the get player definition and get NPC definition. It's literally just outputs for each of them, at which point they are in my definitions, which I would need to find one. 1 second here. We come here to where I have my definitions at. If I open up the player one, you can see right here in the class settings, I've added my society system blueprint interface. At which point I came to the get player definition and opened it up because I'm in the player definition right now and got a reference to self. You want to do that in both of them. It's going to be necessary a lot in future videos. But again, don't actually need that. So now we're going to get the components, or the companions, sorry, and do a find. Just like this. And then a get a copy. There we go. And now, for what I was talking about, we pull out of here, we type in the word load, we have load asset blocking and async load asset. What load asset blocking will do is it'll stop everything in the game and force this to load right this millisecond. And if there's a lot of data there, it could cause your system to glitch, not glitch, jump frames, freeze a little bit, hitch up, so that you're running into loading issues. Now, if you asynchronously load, is the next time that it's time to load something, which is, you know, every few milliseconds, if I'm not mistaken, that it checks, it'll go ahead and add it to it and load it in there in a way that doesn't cause the system to slow down and bog down. So this load asset blocking you can do in functions. Async requires you to do it outside of a function, and that's because it's time dependent. Functions all happen in a single frame. This may not happen on the same frame that's called. It may be the next frame. So it's important that we have that. And now that we have this set up, now we need to do get NPC definition. But we don't want it there. We want it in the completed. That way, once it's loaded, now we continue on. We will make sure that it's valid. And if so, we'll go on to the additional code that we'll do in the next episode. So now we're going to, in the next episodes, it's probably going to be 2 or 3. We're going to start getting everything ready for the party. Because right now, sure, if we wanted to, we could add an NPC. So if I come in here to my controller, I get my companions, add NPC to companions, come over here and add them. Make sure that the variable, okay, fantastic. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Take a second to load, so I will pause it while it's doing it, and I will bring back up once it is loaded. All right, ignore my silly looking metahuman with no feet and being bald. I haven't messed with it much since I heard that it's bugged, and it's not something we need to worry about. If I go ahead and I hit F8, select my metahuman, I'll then be able to select on my controller, go to my companions. You'll see that right now I have no companions. But if I hit F8, come back in here, I hit 0, and then I come back over here to my controller, companions, I now have a companion. They haven't spawned because we haven't added them to the party yet, which is what we'll be doing in the next couple of episodes. I just wanted, if you don't see this person here now, if you're following along line for line, then there's a mistake that you made in following along. I recommend that you go over the video one more time and see what you missed. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.